Hi, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name is Fred Wheeler and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5e and we're talking about how to play Dungeons & Dragons 5e, and today's video is about fast movement for the Barbarian. So if you could, well, what could be worse than an angry and furious rage-driven beast running even faster like a world champion sprinter? Well, I can't think of too much, but if you turn to page 49 of the player's handbook, it will give you details on the Barbarian's fast movement. And that is the topic for today. So I'm going to read out that section and then I'm going to break it all down and then I'm going to give you some demonstrations. So starting at 5th level, your speed increases by 10 feet while you aren't wearing heavy armor. Yet again, another class feature that really encourages you not to wear heavy armor, light armor, medium armor, that's all fine. So there's really nothing particularly complex about fast movement. So why the heck am I doing a video on a topic which really is pretty simple and what I could be done right now? Well, because I have made it more complicated and I've decided to sort of pull out a few nuggets that you might find useful. So an extra 10 feet of speed equals, what, 2 more squares of movement on a battle grid. So if you have a speed of 25 feet, you now have a speed of 35 feet because you have fast movement. If you have a speed of 30, you now have 40 feet, which seems pretty cool to me. As I said, yet another class feature that discourages you wearing heavy armor. I've been saying it before, don't wear heavy armor if you're going to play a Barbarian. It's really a silly thing to do. So this means that all of your modes of movement are going to increase. Every mode of movement that there is possible is going to increase in some way. That's climbing, swimming, crawling along the ground, moving across difficult terrain, and in fact the totemic attunement for the eagle, that means you're going to get to fly faster as well if you have that particular class feature in your repertoire. Of course, you won't get that till much later on, and you'll have fast movement before you get totemic attunement, but still pretty cool. So what I thought I would do is I'll give you a quick demonstration about how this sort of looks and break it down, show you a couple of examples about that I would like to impart to you. So I've started off, we're going to have a race between our characters here. We're on the King's Road. I'm not going to really worry about all the different obstacles in the way. Instead, what I'm going to do is just demonstrate to you what this sort of looks like. So if we just take our movement, so we move and everything here along here, most of it's going to be moving 30 feet. This character moves 30 feet, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, that's fine. Dwarves a little bit slower. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, okay. And then we have the rogue here, halfling, they don't move very fast either. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. We've got an elf wizard, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, now you've got your fast movement. You're a human. This is our barbarian here. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So slight advantage in terms of your speed, which is blatantly obvious. I realize this. I know what the heck are you hanging around for. What I want to point out is what happens after this, okay? Because it does get worse. So what happens, you move, but what if you dash? All right, so let's do that. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Right? 5, 10, 20, whoops, 5, 10, 20, 25, sorry. No, that's right, that is right. It is supposed to be a difference of 2 squares. Sorry, I got confused. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay. All right, and then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So the distance between you and the party grows the more you move. This means you're really good at moving forward into trouble and getting out of trouble really fast. So that is what I wanted to sort of demonstrate in terms of what it's going to look like. All of the slow characters are definitely going to get eaten first, and as a barbarian, if you are human in particular and have a base speed of 30, you're going to have no trouble getting away. Sounds terrible, but you can also get yourself into trouble really fast too. So what I'm going to do is just pop onto the board here some orcs. Now orcs, as you might know a little bit about orcs, they have a thing called aggressive, and they can move across the battlefield very, very fast. In fact, a lot faster than you really want them to, and then they can lay in with their great axes. So that is essentially our little situation here. And most of your party will be sort of orientated more like this, should an encounter occur. Bring them back a little bit further. I can. I've got a bit of space, don't I? I don't have to make it quite so close. That's probably more right. Let's say we're about there. Yeah, roughly there. Something like that. I could go on moving around forever, couldn't I? Okay. So here's our first point. You want to get into combat really fast because you are a barbarian. You do well up front. You don't do well at range. You don't do well with magic. So you want to get in close. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Normally, you'd move up to here. You wouldn't be able to engage. And you'd have to go with either a dash to get into combat or start throwing a ranged weapon, which is always a bit of a drag. But you've got that extra 10 feet now with that fast movement, and you can engage 2 enemies if you wanted to. So there's one part of the aspect of this particular class that's really good. You can get into combat fast. The other thing I wanted to point out, and I don't know if necessarily everybody has seen this sort of thing before, but I'm going to just move our orcs around. Obviously being surrounded by orcs is a terribly horrible thing to have happen, but we're going to do it anyway. Because I wanted to actually sort of demonstrate just a little part of this whole thing. Will he even get through there? Well, we'll just say that they do. Okay. All right. There's still a gap. Okay, and then they've got their spellcaster back here. So here's the thing. Obviously, a situation like this is bad, and really, who you want to be up against is this particular caster who could potentially do an awful lot of damage. Now you have the opportunity to use your disengage as an action and move. But you don't have 30 feet now, you have 40 feet. Yep. So that means you can actually use your disengage and your move to get around and get into combat with this fellow here. So that would be, let's say, 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm going to say the trees here aren't difficult terrain. 25, 30. And now that's just normal movement. If we had classified the trees as difficult terrain, we're still right up in his face. And that's one of the great things I think about fast movement. You can get into trouble fast, you can get out of trouble fast, and you can get around the front line. If I didn't have quite so many orcs, it would be a lot easier to get around. But that is one of the real huge benefits of having that fast movement. And as I said, obviously, if you're not dealing with something like orcs, and you've got something else you've got to deal with, and it's a much larger threat, like say, I don't know, a giant, this fella, then you can get out of combat and leave the halfling and the dwarves to be cremated, if you need to do that. So, pretty cool. I thought that that sort of covers all the aspects of fast movement. There's almost nothing in Sage Advice regarding fast movement because it's such a simple class feature. There really haven't been any issues. If there are issues, you're going to pop them up in the chat right now and I will respond to those. Otherwise, if you found this video helpful or informative in some way, please share it and like the video. If you didn't like the video, that's all right. You can put a thumbs down. If you aren't already subscribed to my channel and you like the sort of content, then please subscribe and also hit the bell button. When you hit the bell button, you will be notified when I go live, when I publish a new video. If you want to support my channel, you just supported my channel watching my video right now. But watch more of my videos, that will help me. I have about 500, I do one just about every single day. I don't do Patreon, but I do the affiliate link thing. So down in the description, you'll find an affiliate link where you can click on, buy something online, Amazon, Book Depository usually. I get a small commission, you pay exactly the same price as you normally would anyway, and you don't even have to buy the thing that it's linked to, which is super cool. Alright, so that is pretty much all little bits and pieces. Now, if you have questions and feedback and comments, start putting them in the chat before I leave. Otherwise, you can leave your feedback, your comments, anything you wanted to say. You can put that down in the comments section after the video becomes live. YouTube spends about half an hour to an hour processing my videos, dependent on its length. Otherwise, I'm going to say, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. And it's really, really cool to be able to move fast.